Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today is day 5 of the Battle of the Brits event, and today we're going to have the men's singles final between Dan Evans and Kyle Edmund. I think it's been a fantastic week for British tennis in every way really, in the fact it's raised money for NHS charities, the fact we've had tennis back. A lot of people have tuned in around the UK and seen different players in Penistone and Judd playing. And them two produced a fantastic match against each other, which I know they gained a lot of supporters from. We've had Andy Murray back in the court, which we haven't seen for a long time in the UK, which has been great to see. And then also Dan Evans and Kyle Edmund and Cam Norrie have produced fantastic tennis throughout. I think it's been of real high quality, and it's nice to be able to watch British players competing against each other in an event. But most importantly, it's brilliant to have some tennis back. So moving on to yesterday's semi-finals. The first final was Dan Evans against Andy Murray. It was a sort of clash we were all waiting for, from the draw being made really, and I nailed this prediction yesterday. I thought Dan Evans would come through in 3 sets. I said I thought Andy would start quick. He times the ball very well from the start, Murray, and he serves particularly well. And I thought while he was at full fitness, he would try and get a lead on Dan Evans and hope to sort of hang on in the end, because Murray's still struggling physically with his hip, and he's obviously pulled out today's match with shin problems as well, so he's still not at 100% fitness. But I think when you bear in mind how long Murray's had off court and the severity of the injuries that he's had, he's doing very well really to compete against the likes of Edmund and Dan Evans, who are top 30 players. And yeah, I think if Murray can have a good end of the season in 2 or 3 months at it, hopefully if we get the tournament in, then there's no reason why Murray can't come back next year and start challenging for titles again, because he's shown this week that he's still got the ability. It's just about the fitness and I think the confidence in his own mind. But he started the match brilliant yesterday. He blew Dan Evans off the court, winning the opening set 6-1. But when Murray's bit of fatigue started to come in, and Dan Evans got more and more into the match, he grew into the match as it progressed. He started to serve better, use his variety. His backhand had Murray in trouble, and yeah, the match aside and tiebreak was very close. Andy dominated the first part of it before Evans came back and produced some fantastic tennis, and it was a great match. There wasn't much in it. Andy pushed him really close, but I don't really think it's down to form and fitness really. Dan Evans is played some of his best tennis of his career over the past 18 months, whereas Murray hasn't had that much time on court, and that told, I think, in the match deciding tiebreak, that Dan Evans has sort of had that mental edge and he knew how to win. Played the biggest points better than Andy. But yeah, it was a great match, and it's been, I think, a great week for Andy. But Dan Evans progresses, and I made him favourite to lift the title at the start of the week, and I'm sticking by that decision. His backhand's been as good as ever this week. The variety and change-ups that he's got, I think, can cause Edmund a lot of problems. And he hasn't really got a weak part of his game, Evans, at the moment. He moves so well around the hard court, and he's just a fantastic player really, that seems to be getting better and better all the time. He's got real momentum behind him. But yeah, it was a fantastic semi-final yesterday, and Evans came out in 3 sets, which is what I predicted pre-match. Moving on to the second semi-final, in this one was a lot closer than anticipated in Kyle Edmund and Cam Norrie. I think Norrie deserves a lot of credit when you consider he's just inside the top 100, and Kyle Edmund's previously been a top 16 player and had started 2020 very well. And I think Edmund didn't have his best of days. He struggled at the start of the match with his serve, and his forehand wasn't what it had been previously in the week, but Cam Norrie took advantage of that. I think he used his lefty serve and his lefty forehand to really puzzle Edmund, and Edmund didn't really settle into the match, the pace of the ball, and it wasn't Edmund's style of match really, but he did enforce that later on. I think Norrie played a fantastic tie break in that opening set to take it 7-3. And it was a big question of Edmund's character, how much did he want it? Could he start finding that serve and forehand, the 1-2 punch, and really punish Norrie's defensive frailties? And he's done exactly that. I think at the start of the second set, he really started to kick into gear. As I say, serving well, taking the ball on early, really finding the corners with his forehand, and just dominated Norrie from that position really. And he took the second set in the match aside and tie break. I think he had to make Kyle a big favourite with the momentum that he had in the match. And Norrie again, he played a good tiebreak. It was close, like the Murray and Evans one, but Edmund came out on top. I think he served 14 aces, which is obviously a massive help in a three set match. And his forehand got him through that one in the end. The longer the match went on, the better he timed the ball, the more he found the corners, and the more he was aggressive. And Norrie just didn't have the same weapon as Kyle's got really to hurt Kyle. Obviously, Edmund's got that huge forehand that can dominate any player really, and he just ended up forcing the errors and just dominating Norrie really, and winning the match in 3 sets to progress to today's final. So looking ahead to today's 2 singles matches, Andy Murray was due to face Cam Norrie in a sort of 3rd place playoff, but Murray's I believe pulled out with a shin problem. I don't think it's anything serious. I think it's just because he's played a lot of tennis over the past week after not playing tennis for a long time. So James Ward is stepping in for Andy Murray. Ward's a good hardcore player. His game sort of suits it with that big game style he's got, the big serve and forehand. But I do think Cam Norrie's played very, very well this week. He spent a lot of time on court, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was slightly fatigued today. He obviously played that long semi-final yesterday against Kyle. But I think if Cam plays somewhere near his best, his variety, his changes up in speed, that lefty serve, as I say, uses very well to his advantage. And I do make Norrie a big favourite in that match. I think he'll come through in straight sets against James Ward. And I think Cam can really sort of kick on. He showed this week he can challenge the top players in Britain, and there's no reason why Cam can't become a top 50 player within the next year. Moving on to the big one, the final, Dan Evans and Kyle Edmund, and I think this should be a fantastic matchup, and it'll a lot depend on how the match starts and how the match plays out. If Kyle can come out and serve well from the off, be aggressive, then he's capable of bullying anybody on the court. But I just think Dan Evans has got so much variety to his game. He's got his own weapons in his backhand and his slice backhand, his drop shots. I do think he's got a better all-round game than Kyle Edmund. He's a great counter puncher. If Edmund doesn't quite time the ball well or doesn't quite find the lines, and Dan Evans will certainly punish that. And I don't think Kyle will get to play his own game. He likes the ball to sit up on the service box where he can just power forehands, but Dan Evans, as we know, has got that fantastic slice backhand. He really slows the game down, forces his opponent to rally, and if we do get into the longer points, definitely favours Dan Evans. He's quicker around the court. As I said, I think he's got better all-round shots, better shot selection. Kyle is obviously a fantastic player, but he is largely reliant on a forehand. And if Dan Evans is fantastic at sort of neutralising opponents' biggest weapon, and I just think Dan's also got that winning form. I know Kyle Edmonds obviously won in New York early this year, but Dan just seems to be on a roll really. His career's just going from strength to strength. He's won a couple of tournaments last year, and he started this year very well. I predicted Dan at the start of the week, so I'm going to stick with that. But the opening set's massively key in who's to win. I think if Kyle can come out and serve really well like he did yesterday and hit the aces and hold serve pretty easily, then put down under pressure. I think the first serve is massive for Kyle today. Important that he makes the first serves and really takes advantage of any short returns to take control of the points in an early stage. He doesn't want to be getting into rallies with a Dan Evans who's playing like he is. But I do think Dan will win this in straight sets. He's usually a fast starter. Kyle didn't play his best yesterday. I don't know whether he's fatigued or he just had a bit of an off day, but it took him a while to get going. But I don't think you can't allow Dan Evans a free first set. I just think Evans will come out and start well and really neutralise Kyle, as I say, not allow him on that forehand, just move him around the court. We know Kyle's not the quickest, he's a big guy, and Evans is very quick. I just see Evans bringing him into the net a lot, moving him around the court, using that backhand slice to neutralise the pace in the ball. And that's how I see the match going personally, but I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic final. And that's my final prediction: Dan Evans to win the final in straight sets against Kyle Edmund and be the first battle of the Brits champions. But thanks for watching the videos this week, and I'll be back very soon with more on the channel. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe and enjoy the final.